Kalamazoo's Real Rock Station, 92.5 The ZUU. I am Taz. Thank you for tuning in on your Monday. Very special guest with us today in support of Bret Michaels' autobiography, Roses and Thorns, and Bret Michaels' solo CD, Rock My World. We've got the man himself, the hammer of Bret Michaels, Big John. What's up, man?
Taz, how you doing, man? It's good to hear you.
I'm doing good, man. We kind of got some crappy weather over here. Where are you at right now?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, and we got some pretty bad weather here, too, but feels good to be off for a couple days anyway.
Well, we are looking forward to seeing Bret Michaels at the Motor City Casino on October 2nd. Tickets are on sale for that right now. Bret, excited about the solo dates he's got coming up? Because I know Poison just wrapped up their tour with Def Leppard.
You know what? I honestly think that he likes the solo dates a little bit because we're up close, personal, and, he gets to interact a lot more with the fans, and they get to see a different side of Bret, with his solo music. Detroit area has always been absolutely amazing, and we expect a party every time we come up there, and I think they still hold the beer drinking record over at Pine Knob, and so we love coming up there, whether it's solo or with Poison. But I think with the solo dates, like I said, he's a little bit more excited because he gets to be a little more up close with everyone.
Exactly. Bret Michaels seems like one of those guys that just loves doing what he does. He's got the autobiography out for his fans. He's got the solo CD out. Poison's doing stuff. This is a guy that just loves his job.
He absolutely does love it. Bret's the kind of guy that he's always working, and whether it's with Poison, whether it's with his solo dates, whether it's with his autobiography. And speaking of the autobiography, I can guarantee you that there's some stories from Detroit and Michigan area in there that I think a lot of people from up there will relate to. We've had quite an extensive touring life in the Detroit and Michigan area, and I know that there's some stories in there that people will love and appreciate.
This a thing that Bret wanted to do, or was he approached to do the book?
No, this is something that he's been wanting to do for a very long time. And the timing was just right. There's a lot of things that have happened in the last couple of years. The reuniting of Poison in '99, getting back together, 23 years of constant touring, and obviously it's been put on hold for a little bit because we had the incident with the Tony Awards where he was injured pretty bad. And I got to tell you, when that thing happened, I got to give him props because anybody else would have hung up their boots and taken some time off. He kept going and had a big old hole in his lip, broken nose, and so Simon and Schuster, who are publishing the book, wanted to incorporate that, the bus wreck up in Toronto that happened on the summer tour with Def Leppard and Cheap Trick, and there was a few more things that needed to be added in. So it's definitely his time to tell his story. He's done the behind the music, he's done the where are they now, but this gives him the chance to through 100% of his eyes.
Man, that Tony Awards thing, I saw the photos and the video. Kind of hard to watch because it looks like Bret Michaels is going to get his head chopped off. How is his head doing after the Tony Awards incident?
He was pretty banged up. I mean, it shattered his nose, it put a hole in his lip, busted out a tooth, and he continued to go on. Obviously we had to reschedule a couple of dates, but he mashed on, and he took lemons and made lemonade out of it. And he took the high road. He didn't, try to blame anyone per se. It was just one of those things that happened, and he got pretty banged up, and he wanted to keep going. He wasn't about to cancel any dates.
I got a lot more respect in my blood veins for Bret Michaels when he didn't blame anybody for that, because that's what everybody was waiting for. They're waiting for Bret Michaels to come out and say, somebody screwed up, it's their fault, and we're going to go to court or something like that. But he never did that. You got to admire a guy that does that.
He chose to take the high road. Anybody else, I think, would have tried to place blame and sue and do this and that. And he's an entertainer. He's been around for a very long time, and I think the whole world got an idea as to what kind of a man he is when he came out publicly and said, look, it happened, we're going to move on. I got some injuries. Let's keep rocking.
We're on the phone with Big John from VH1's Rock of Love. He's in support of Bret Michaels, who's got a lot going on. Roses and Thorns, the autobiography. Rock My World, his solo CD. We're going to be able to catch the show at the Motor City Casino on October 2nd. John, a couple things about you. How did you actually get the gig with Bret? First, the actual job, and then the Rock of Love show.
This has been gone over a couple of times. It's actually in the book. What happened was I was friends with the guys in Rat. And in '99, when Poison got back together and Rat was on tour with them, I went from Cincinnati. I lived in Cincinnati at the time, and I went up to Cleveland, Ohio, and to see the show. It was their opening night, and I take that back. It was their second night. The first night was in Rockford, and Bobby Blotzer wanted to ride back to the hotel, so one of my friends gave him a ride. He said, just ride the bus back. Well, I got on the crew bus instead of the band bus, which was going back to the hotel, and wound up, ironically, in Detroit at Pine Knob. And like a few days later, the guys in RAT offered me a job because I just stepped in, started helping out. I figured I'd just ride the train back to Cincinnati when I got there. And lo and behold, I got a job and met Brett a couple of times through the summer, and we really clicked, and our friendship began. And the following year, I contacted Jana in his office and said, hey, I like your organization. I'd really like to join. And there was no second guess. And Brett and Jana called me. And when the Rock of Love thing came, there was no second guess. And he said, if I'm going to do this, I want John to be with me. We have a chemistry. It'll really work. I think you'll be happy. And from the minute we started taping, they originally only had like 4 episodes or 6 episodes in the works. When Brett and I got together and we started doing our frick and frack routine, they immediately bought like another 7 or 8 episodes, turned it into 14, and we knock on wood, we've had the #1 show in VH1's history 3 years in a row.
Yeah, people don't realize how big Rock of Love actually was. This thing is one of the biggest reality shows to ever hit TV, and it's changed your life in many ways, I'm sure. What aspect of your life has been tied to the show more than any other? Is it the sort of celebrity status or maybe some more cash? What's changed in the life of Big John?
It's definitely changed my life because in a couple good ways and a couple bad. The good ways is, obviously people know who I am, and I get to interact with people a lot more than I used to, which I thoroughly enjoy. I love interacting with people and hanging out, and I've learned from the best, like I said, with Brett. But, on a downside, everyone in the world now knows who to go to get the Brett.
Yep.
My phone has not stopped in 3 years. John, I want backstage passes. John, I need to meet Brett. I need 10 minutes. I need 5 minutes. I'm like, I'll do what I can.
You've got family coming out of everywhere then, seems like.
I'll tell you what, I never knew how many friends I had till I was on TV.
I know what you mean, man. I actually get some concert tickets and stuff here, and people I never even talked to in like 3 years knocking on my door. Hey, man, you want to?
Exactly.
Can I see Def Leppard, man?
Poison's coming. Hey, Nickelback's coming. Can you get me tickets? I'm like,
exactly.
I don't even work for Nickelback.
Exactly.